It was a really good series. I would recommend anyone watching it. And we moved to this one, the first Gundam movie.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Our second movie for us.
In theaters for them, lucky bastard.
Char versus Amuro, the final conflict. This takes place 13 years after.
Is this the one where Amuro dies? Spoilers.
You mean he dies?
Did he burn
How
up in the
many
atmosphere?
people here, the first time they actually saw this movie, were confused by the ending? Anyone confused by the ending the first time they saw it? It was just me. I was the only one
There was a
confused by
godchild?
the ending. Yeah.
And they turned into new
Char decides to throw asteroids onto the Earth in order to force humanity to migrate into space. And Amuro, part of the special forces known as Wando Bell, tries to stop them with his new prototype Gundam. And this is also the first Gundam to counter the Xeon weaponry of, oh, we have these cool remote-controlled space guns that we can have fly all over the place. And Amuro's going to like, you know, I'm going to one-up you and have these cooler-looking ones that can actually form force fields and shit. So
Sounds like the first prequel.
Sounds like the Wii and the PS move. Just the way how you did that there.
Moving on.
Sorry.
well, no, we'll get to Connect and PS Vue Gundam in a moment.
Gundam?
And now, yes, this is the Gundam with the funny names. So Bandai thought it would be best to bring the Universal Century back with Gundam Unicorn.
Hell yeah.
How many people have been watching Unicorn so far? Right, quite a few people. I gotta say, the animation is top notch, and I think they just released their 6th episode now after what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a year and a half later, we'll get the conclusion.
Yeah.
That's like berserk speed.
It's worse than Berserk.
Worse than this.
So we have our
Nothing's worse than this.
So Dinosaur
It's
Ladies.
46 episodes. Let's take
Again,
forever.
it's our standard Gundam.
High School of the Dead
Civilian.
speed.
We have our standard Gundam.
That just actually got a new
Civilian stumbles
chapter.
upon a Gundam. He
It's
posits
coming
it.
out soon. Yeah.
And that is, again, that's not Char, that's full frontal, his Ghost. Although he is a bit of a badass.
With a better perm, I take it? Definitely.
Yeah, he has a better
That is the
profile.
that is the most suggestive code name since Deep Throat.
What's next?
This
Bend
Gundam,
over?
though, is by far one of the most broken Gundams I have ever seen. Because what this thing can do, it's in this mode called the New Type Destroyer mode, where if it's fighting against a new type, it can take control of the enemy's remote control weapons and use it as its own. So it's like, yeah, you're boned.
Sounds like
It's like Mega Man.
OMG, Haxor!
Pretty much.
Yeah. So how many people are enjoying this one so far?
I like it.
It's good.
It's one of the best.
It's good.
Let's see. And then we move to another Gundam movie, F91. The Xeon is gone. This is like in the 100. This is like UC 123, I believe. So we move into a new generation where a new enemy called the Crossbone Vanguard launches its army of mobile suits, take out civilians in neutral colonies. And our new character, Sino Arbrook, I believe that's his name, I think I got that right, pilots an F91. And this Gundam is also interesting because it pilots, or it creates an after image of itself when it flies around.
Nice.
And its final enemy is mobile armor that looks like a giant flower with tentacles.
Ew.
Sounds like a hentai to me.
All seen it.
Now, what I did find out recently about this, I would say is a B-grade movie at most. Originally, during the production, it was supposed to be a full-on series. However, I guess due to background issues during its production, it resulted in being a movie, so it had to be shortened down.
It has severe lack of good.
Yeah, lack of good,
They
yes.
had to limit the run.
Yeah, and speaking of not so good things,
What we got?
Oh, God.
Whoa.
That was good.
during the 20th anniversary of Gundam,
G-Saviors versus Dragon Ball Evolution.
yeah, this is the Dragon Ball evolution of
What's the
Gundam.
worst movie?
G-Savior.
Xavier. During the 20th anniversary, they said, hey, why don't we try making a live-action movie? And unfortunately, as with Dragon Ball Evolution, this was not made in Japan.
Oh, geez.
Now, here's the
right
funny
there.
thing. This was made in Canada.
I was about to say it. I was about to say it.
Canadians made this.
Blame Canada.
We gotta see the Federation,
Those
eh?
Canada dollars.
I think we better get in our mobile suits. I think the French Canadians are getting manned. They're attacking Vancouver.
They should have used the
So, the
lumberjack
enemy
gun.
army, I forget.
Remember that one? The lumberjack gun?
Nazi. Although, surprisingly,
Oh, wait
the
till we get to
suits did have the
you'll
blue
see
eye,
lots of
and the
racist
Gundams, of course, are all in CGI, which I swear to God, the CGI looks like it's in that in-between level between PS1 and PS2 suit graphics.
See, they should have known that you can't do a Gundam live action with anything less than a James Cameron budget. And possibly James Cameron. It's the only way that you would make it will look like shit unless you have the money to put into the effects.
Yeah, and they were fighting over, I guess, agricultural resources. I could believe it. Although, one interesting tidbit, the voice actress who played Lady Young in Gundam Wing actually was starred in this movie.
Gas.
Yeah, I was talking about that just when
Black guy.
Multiple black guys.
That closes off.
Are you sure he's not shopped in there? The black guy.
I made sure this wasn't. I made
swear
sure
he's
this was
shopped
not
in there.
photo. I made sure this wasn't
David Brown
Photoshop.
or
These are. I mean, I guess actually it is, but these are the characters.
I'm surprised Seth Entertainer isn't on the right or something. like Bernie Mac going in the back.
Let's see. And that closes off the Universal Century. Let's move on to G Gundam.
Yeah.
You know what?
G Gundam.
Anthony, what is that?
You said to go get a picture of G Gundam.
There were no ponies in G Gundam.
I think there was.
That's G Gundam. That's what I got when I googled G Gundam.
These ponies were not in G Gundam.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
The pony that rides there, is it?
Anyone who tries to thwart another's load shall hear galloping moves and cries for revenge. Don't touch him.
Friendship is Gundam.
Okay, two things. One, sadly I do remember the moment in G Gundam when Domon said that line. And two, I stand corrected and I hate you so much.
So that's not G Gundam?
No.
You sure? I'd rather watch that. That looks more interesting.
Shut up.
My little Gundam, what?
And with the actual...
Oh!
Fingers.
Oh, I remember this. Dragon Ball Gundam.
Yeah. The most controversial Gundam series.
You mean the best Gundam series?
By that you mean worse.
So, in order to avoid war,
Wait on Gundam
the
GT.
nations of the world
Don't worry,
decide
we're gonna get
to
the game up for you.
hold a tournament, and by sending a fighter who operates a giant mobile fighter called the Gundam, of course, and whoever's Gundam wins the Gundam fight, as the tournament is called, that nation gets to rule over the entire Earth sphere for 4 years. So what I can only assume is this is the Japanese version of the Olympics, except they get to pilot giant robots and beat the crap out of each
Rule
other.
the world.
There was like a movie in 1970 or 80 that came out.
I forget the name of that
It was a
movie.
live action like giant mobile suit movie. It wasn't a Gundam title, but it was the same thing. It was
Real Steel?
It was nations would have like a not Gundam pilot, a mobile suit pilot get into a giant robot and they'd fight each other over territorial disputes and stuff, and that was their solution for ending war.
I
Pacific
forget the
Rim?
name of that movie. I can't
Was it
remember.
Pacific Rim? No.
Wait, what?
That was recent.
That's a new movie. Hasn't even come out.
No. This is like from somewhere between 1970 and 1980.
It's a live action mech movie.
Live action
I can't remember the name either,
Yeah.
but I know which one.
I've seen it.
It's
Now,
horrible.
if we also, I think there were also other trends that G Gundam took that was inspired by. I mean, let's take a look here. See, look, let's see, we have black, pink, blue, green, red, yellow. Do those colors remind people of anything?
Why is China yellow? Wow.
Yeah, and let's see, G Gundam also had a lot of, how should I put this, stereotypes. I mean, some of the Gundam designs were okay, like with China, it's a dragon.
I'll see
We
black
have,
people.
Japan,
I'll
with
see all
that
his
awesome
fans.
burning Gundam. We have Russia, and then there were
made of bones.
some other others. I mean, look at Gundam Rose. I'm sorry, this
Banana
just looks silly. Oh, hey, Tuxedo Mask, this is your Gundam, by the way. Because it actually does fight with metal roses.
All right,
And then,
so
Rose Mist.
Mighty Morphin fighting Gundam Z. Great. That was,
And oh, wait, one more. Gundam Maxter. Here's what I've analyzed with this thing's design. It is a football player crossed with a cowboy, crossed with a surfer, crossed with a boxer.
Yeah,
So when you
America.
think of America, you think of those things. And a Gundam.
he just needs to be
More
fat.
Gundam.
Where's the hamburgers and the hot dogs?
That's the maintenance crew.
And also, we had, everything had the word Neo in front of you. You had Neo,
not bad,
China,
it's big frame.
and once moved into more of the stereotypical designs.
There we go. That's not looking at
Let you process
Not
this for a second.
Not racist at all.
I'm sure you can all guess what nation this one's from.
Where's the Harlem Gundam? Projects.
So it's a
Imagine
Gundam, it's a
powerful
Gundam with a sombrero. Although, sadly, this Gundam does not actually drink tequila.
And you watch
He
the
shoots
show?
it.
Yes. Because again, it's a fighting shonen anime.
Don't get it.
Makes me
Still
Gundam.
don't, to this day, don't
And
get it.
then we have, Denmark's, okay, this is a Gundam that can transform into a windmill.
So
Seriously? A windmill? That's the best you can come up with?
Putt-putt golf, man. Come on. It's pretty popular. Gyro Man.
I'm sure after G Gundam was over, this was placed in some kind of golf course. It's a huge golf course, by the way. Oh yes. Oh gee, this is how they get Gundams into space, by humping rockets.
How else are you gonna get up there?
In the final fight scene, they have to get all these Gundams up into space to fight, and this is their method of doing it. Although G Gundam at the end of
My favorite is the guy cowboy right
he's doing it
That's the Texas Gundam.
If you're going to completely destroy all suspension of disbelief, I mean, don't half-ass it. That's how you do it.
It's the black Gundam. He hijacked that one.
Okay, here's my guys. Either this is Epion or it's a Goof. Oh wait, no. In Japan, Gundam Wing came out after this. But there are also a few cameras.
but Gundam
See,
Wing's
here's
in
the
it.
original Gundam, and then this looks like I think the Cross Gundam. That's from the manga.
Doesn't matter. Sometimes you got to ghost ride the Gundam. Victory.
Yeah, it goes right the Gundam a lot. Let's see. And also another
You came in a great picture.
Actual episode. Even
And then
before the
another
series came out.
interesting aspect was, since it was a shonen fighting anime for Gundam, which was brand new at the time, for a younger audience, it had that one famous move that was just as popular as the Kamehameha that everyone wanted to try.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but 2 fingers. All up in that.
What? You may have those silver feet, but I've got these gold fingers!
By the way, they had to make these 5 fingers, because we can't have this.
I'm gonna touch you.
Article 1 of the Gundam Fight International Regulations. A unit whose head section has been destroyed is disqualified.
I think they'll make better helmets.
It's time for you to review Article 2 of the Gundam Fight International Regulations.
Only one Super Saiyan.
Did they bring their manual, the rules manual?
I have it in my house.
At least you
So
didn't
that-
lose your life. I spared you, Michelob Chariot.
So that's stacked with power attack?
Yeah. You gotta look
Man, the D&D jokes are just not working.
This is why you need to stop.
I'm giving up on the D&D jokes.
Alright, and let's see, that closes that. And this is pretty much when Gundam was at the Zeitgeist of popularity here in the States. And with every franchise, it eventually has to go downhill, and this has its precursor.
Please tell me.
Who remembers this show?
That's the one I watched.
Yeah!
Keychain Gundams.
So we have, we went from Gundams that just totally owned everything to more military use Gundams to Gundams that can freaking blow up moons.
Yeah.
To, yeah, what that says. The story takes place with this, I swear to God, the most annoying character in anime, I have to say.
Forgot about that.
More than
You haven't seen the show in its entirety. Oh, that's right, you haven't seen this, have you? You are fortunate. Who remembers this character? Plenty of you. That's good. Shoot! Dear God. Oh God. Stumbles upon a evil force called the Dark Axis, who comes to their world of Neotopia and plans to, believe it or not, turn it into stone. He stumbles upon a Gundam who fights the Dark Axis named Captain. I question the originality of that name. And his partners, Zero, the Winged Knight, and Baku Netsumaru. I just can't believe I remember these names. The interesting thing I gotta give them credit for is that they actually took aspects from 3 different Gundam universes. You have Universal Century right here, and then you got obviously Gundam Wing, and then you have G Gundam with all the samurais and fighting and stuff. We only received the first half of the series. It was actually finished with its dub. However, the second half was only broadcasted in Canada, and sadly, I forced it upon myself to watch the rest of it, and yeah, it just wasn't that great. I mean, come on, it's talking Gundams with chibi eyes and tiny bodies. I'm sorry. It's
Sounds like a marketing play.
Next series?
yes. Gundam for the 21st century. Gundam Seed. Which I'm gonna admit, this is actually one of my personal favorites. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, the first half of the series, it almost mirrored the original Gundam in its entirety. And then the second half of the series, it did take its own route with its point ending, but come on, seriously, what Gundam series doesn't have its flaws? Don't make me go back to the G Gundam section, because I will.
G Gundam was perfect.
Are you saying G Gundam is bad?
No, I'm just acknowledging its flaws. I'm just acknowledging its flaws.
Okay, cool.
The one thing I
I
love.
remember that.
No, G Gundam was awesome in every way. I mean, the flaws are there. You just can't help it. I love the mobile suit designs that Gundam Seed had, especially this thing. This is a very popular design. This is the Liker Zero of Gundams here, the Strike Gundam. You had the Ale Pack, which was for high speed and flight. You had the sword, which was all melee, and then you had the launcher that could blow your head off at long distances.
Panzer?
Yeah, that was the Panzer. Yeah, right now this is its Jaeger mode right here.
Why are we talking Zoids?
And
no, Zoids in my head.
I related to Char. So Kira, Stumble, again, it's the standard Gundam formula. So, yeah. And let's see. This actually has a lot of, I think it has a small cult following.
Yeah.
And then we move to Gundam, what I would consider to be its lowest point. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
As I said before, Gundam Seed is a guilty pleasure of mine. This, on the other hand, one of the worst series I have ever seen in terms of execution. We stumble upon this guy right here. I refuse to say his name.
Made it right on time. Started.
Actually, that's a good comparison. But no, he sucks. Shin
Lost
Asuka.
him. He's gone.
I just contradicted myself.
Didn't they completely ruin all the characters in Seed Destiny?
No, what happened
least the main
was,
character.
this was supposed to be the Zeta Gundam of the Seed universe. However, unlike its predecessor, it suffered from one massive flaw, especially in the later half of its series. Character balancing. What happened was, he was the main character, and then they brought him back. And he did one of the most unforgivable things, which is why he is #1 on my hate list. He did this. Oh. For the record, I am a Kira fan.
俺が撃つんだちょここでこれはメリーソードシリンド
By the way, that was the highest point this series got. It went downhill from there.
Oh, JJ, how did that scene make you feel?
They just started taking it.
I won. You know, I'm actually happy how the series ended for that character specifically. But Kira got back. Kira got him back.
Really good actor. He's a Death Note.
Yeah, that was really great.
Kira got back at him for that by doing what no other Gundam protagonist has ever done.
Quit.
No. His mobile suit stole the main character's title. His mobile suit stole the title screen.
Wow.
So good.
So, yeah, the character balancing was this series' massive flaw, and what I would consider not only the worst ending in the Gundam franchise, but in anime in general. It was a really bad ending. If you would
Again,
call it
a tall
ending.
claim. You claim most annoying character and worst ending in anime. In
One of the worst
In the
endings.
same series?
Well, in the same.
In the same franchise.
Same ever.
Yeah.
Oh, word. Moving on.
Gundam 00.
Hell yeah. This was got me back into them.
Yeah, this was Gundam Wing on steroids. Yeah, so it's, of course, this is the only Gundam title where adventure actually takes place in AD. It wasn't actually something made up.
Yeah,
in
it
terms
was
of
supposed to be
timeline.
our universe.
Yeah, it's our
Our
universe.
country.
Japan already
This-
has their Gundam ready.
It's real. It actually will happen in the future.
Yeah.
So we have, it actually kind of tastes like an armored corps. That's how I thought it. Because you have all these different armies in charge of the world. And then we have these guys called Celestial Being who use their Gundams to wipe out the war. And everyone thinks, oh, you guys are terrorists. We're just going to unite and fight against you. And yeah, this was an excellent series, and it brought a lot of firsts to the Gundam franchise entirely. First series to be split into 2 separate seasons, which I have to admit, when it comes to looking at Gundam television series, there's usually usually you would think you remember the first 20 episodes, and then when it's in the 20s and the early 30s, it's kind of like it drags, and then you come back into it and remember everything from the late 30s to the end. Where this, they took their time with it, which I'm really happy. It didn't make anything drag along.
Who here hasn't seen the ending to season 1 of Gundam 00? Okay, go watch Gundam 00 or finish the season that you started. If you started Gundam 00, get to the end of season 1.
Yeah.
It makes the ending to Macbeth look like the ending of a rom-com. Fuck.
And while you're on that, let's roll your favorite.
Speaking of which, spoilers.
Spoilers.
He died?
I'm dead.
けどな、こいつをやらなきゃ、敵を取らなきゃ、俺は前に進めねえ。世界とも向き合えねえ。それなの。だからさ。
Okay, I apologize, that was a really long clip, but it had to be shown.
Best Gundam death ever, by the way.
By the way,
I'm going to make an outrageous claim. That was the best death scene in the history of anime. That's my outrageous claim.
Krillin's death's actually bad.
Shots fired.
Yeah, that's actually quite true. Now that you think about it.
Hey guys,
And then Gundam 00. They also had season 2. Also had an incredible ending. I consider that like a passing the torch moment, especially because the final villain is in Japan. He's voiced by Toru Furuura, who also in Japan was the original voice of Amuro Ray, which was interesting. And due to popularity, it got a movie.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah.
Speaking of movie.
Yeah, this. Anthony, I'll let you take this one.
Oh,
He doesn't want to say it's aliens, but it's aliens.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
But it's aliens.
See that? Okay, so the Gundam team from 00 apparently has to team up again and fight alien invaders from space, which apparently they can like mold and morph and change shape, and they can like grab things and like assimilate into they're the Deceptiborgs, basically.
It's hilarious.
They transform and assimilate.
At the end of the movie,
New Dragonfly, Gundam
at the end of the movie, the 00 Quanta, which is by far, I would have to say, for the record, the Gundams in 00 are, in terms of brokenness, on par with the Gundams in G Gundam. That is how broken these things can be.
So he can ride on rockets too.
He could if he wanted to.
You know, that would have been funny if they did actually try that. So, at the end of the movie, we have the 00 Quanti, which is the title Gundam, which it's a Gundam that is capable of teleporting to a different part of the galaxy or the universe. It can turn into particles.
I think I saw this in Dragon Ball Evolution.
No. And wait.
Overpowered.
Yes. Yeah. It merged with the shape-shifting metal life form aliens, thus becoming the most broken thing next to Gerd Lagann, mind you. And what does it do in the last? What does it do in the last 5 minutes of the movie? It turns into a flower statue.
My little Gundam.
Yeah, you just lost potential for that thing. It's like, this thing's too broken. We have to do this.
Pretty much. They had to take it down a notch as far as technically.
So we will never know what this thing could actually do.
No,
That'd be funny if they actually released a figure of this, Flower Gundam. Would you get that? Would you buy that? Anyone will want to buy that figure?
Maybe if they went ahead and made it look like Fluttershy, you just might as well.
Tuxedo Mask could be the pilot. I'm sorry, they were picky out here. And because of the popularity,
There we go, see?
because of the popularity Gundam ensued is one of Japan's great achievements. They made it actually. This is by far the largest Gundam model in the history of model kits. This is a life
Model.
Oh,
I think it's real.
All it needs is a boy pilot.
I would put money that thing is real. Japan has figured out how to make a real Gundam. They're just disguising it as a model for now until they need to. That is a real Gundam.
And they have plenty of little boys for that.
Just be lucky that it's an original series Gundam and not Wing Zero.
Oh yeah, if it was Wing Zero, they'll be screwed right now. Well, Japan is set whenever nuclear war breaks.
It could be worse. It could have been one of the Gundams from 8th MS Team, which in attack power is somewhere just above a Leo. Those things got blown up almost as much as Leo's did in that series.
Yeah,
like I watched Gundam Wing first, so I'm used to Gundams are more powerful than anything else. Like you have to you need like an entire series to blow up a Gundam, and then I watch 8th MS Team is another Gundam thing. They're blowing up. They can die.
Let's see, and that covers our history and everything. So let's general discussion.
We're out of time. Well, honestly,
we got a half hour to talk about this.
Who's got the next panel?
I have. Yeah, anyone know what the next panel is after this?
Like K-pop.
You guys have.
We still have another half hour. Wait.
It is 2:30 now.
J-pop dance.
Yeah, we got a J-pop now.
We want a freaking caramel dance and a
90-minute panel.
We're a 90-minute panel.
We are a 90-minute panel.
Oh my!
Half hour.
We're out of time. Oh jeez.
Yeah, so let's go back.
Do we have more time?
To the tables?
Yeah.
Have you noticed in that?
Let's begin our first discussion. Who do you think in this picture will win this fight? Double Riser or Unicorn?
Unicorn.
All right, let's hear some arguments here.
Unicorn not close.
Unicorn not close. All right, yeah, he wins because he can turn the particles. So let's move to the real topic at hand. We have our famous antagonists. Who would win in a fight between these two?
Proto Man.
Sure.
All right, now in order to, we kind of stretch this out. We split this up into tiers of all of the different mobile suits they piloted, and what mobile suits would be the best matchup against each other. So what this really is, it's time for a death battle.